To communicate or not to communicate. Those moments when you wonder whether expressing yourself is going to make things better or worse. Those moments when you wonder, if you voice your need, will it be accepted or will it be rejected? That kind of dilemma. My first recollection of that kind of dilemma was when I was 7. And my grandmother took me to see one of her friends. Now, Doreen, my grandmother and your auntie were great friends, but this is not about your auntie tonight. So there I was in my ladylike dress, sitting in a ladylike manner, and listening like a real lady in total silence. In this living room, which, as we say in Cyprus, to saloni, we were sitting in this grand saloni, and in the middle of it was a grand ornate table. And right in the middle of that table was a fine crystal bowl that was allowing the contents of the bowl to shine through the room. And what was in that bowl? Chocolates wrapped in metallic, colourful paper. The blue, the purple, the pink, the orange were shining. And I looked at that bowl, and I wanted to be able to say, "Excuse me, can I have one?" And every time I felt that energy ready for me to utter those words, something in my head said, "No, do not ask. You are not to ask. If it's offered, you will accept, but do not ask." What if they say no to you? And so I sat there for 2 hours, never asking for that chocolate. And that is how I have always been. You might think I communicate because I'm up here, blah, blah, blah. But I rarely communicate about what I really want and what I really think. And as a result, sometimes I get frustrated because people cannot guess what I want. Thankfully, my husband, he's got to understand me quite well. Today he said, "I'm going to Zorpas, I'm going to get macaroni for me." And I wanted to say, "Please bring me a dish too," but I didn't. But he knows me well. So after a little pause, he said, "Do you want something from Zorpas?" But not everybody's like my husband. Not everybody will be asking me what I want. So that creates a lot of frustration for me. My fear of the word no is phenomenal. When I hear no, I feel like I'm being crushed by 100 ton of bricks. And that fear I project onto others. I'm worried to say to others no. And do you know what I had to do last spring? Last spring, I was the workshop chair for the Athens contest. We had 96 applications for 28 workshops. So I could only accept 28 of those 96. So to 68 people, I had to find a way of saying no. And I was panicking. Thankfully, this was an HPL project. I had my guidance team, Miranda, Caroline, and they sat with me and made me feel a little better about saying no. Together we came up with a plan that I would write an email to each one, thanking them, genuinely thanking them for their proposals, so I would actually say why I thanked them for the proposal, not just the usual "thank you very much," explaining why we couldn't accept that proposal, and wishing them the best. And I did that for 68 people. As a result, I got some beautiful emails, people saying to me, "This is the best rejection we've ever had. Thank you for taking the time to write to us." But you know what? It was a painful exercise for me, having to write those rejection emails. And they say practice makes perfect. Well, no, I've practiced 68 times and I still don't like saying no. So as a result, I avoid conflict, I avoid competition, I avoid antagonism in the real life. I compete at Toastmasters, but in the real life, I avoid those things. And therefore, perhaps I'm not achieving. Perhaps I'm sometimes frustrated. So to communicate or not to communicate? To communicate my needs, my thoughts, or not? For my 54 years, I've been veering towards not communicating them. Maybe it's time. It's time to stop being the great people pleaser, which is what my Pathways assessment showed of me, that in my communication, I just want to please people. And maybe it's time to start communicating what I want, what I need, and what I think. So, fellow Toastmasters, watch out! Something's about to happen. I am going to communicate. Madam Toastmaster, I am enchanted